Hello, welcome. Uh, this is my talk today about Flash Loan Hack Remedy. As I'm a lawyer, I'm looking at the remedy part. But before I get to the remedy part, I need to explain a bit about flash loan so that you understand where I'm coming from. So what basically is a flash loan? You can look at it. You can look this up in YouTube. A flash loan is where you can borrow from a pool of lenders, and then you can borrow any amount of money, a huge amount of money. Currently, only developers can do that because you need to know how to write a smart contract, and that is within the language called Solidity. Of course, there are some people. I mean, it says here, flash loan without any coding. Is Without any coding actually means that they are using other people's code to do that. You still need to be able to code or understand other people's codes. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. At the moment, what happened was that there are several developers who managed to get away with profit of 60 million profits, and the way they have done that is that uh, with Flash Loan and especially with blockchain technology. Blockchain technology involve recording transactions when they are completed, and the transaction has to be verified by various parties. Currently, it's done by a process called mining, but eventually it will be done by a process called staking. I'm not going to go into staking. Staking is another process, which is not the topic today. So what happens here is that when you borrow a lot of money, say for example you borrow 100 million of digital assets, and you use those digital assets to do something. Say for example, you use those digital assets A to buy digital assets B, and then you use digital assets B to do something else. For example, in this particular case, the parties actually who made a lot of money actually pump up some rubbish coin, and when they pump it up, what they do is that it's just like a pump and dump. So other people will be coming in, because the way the system works is that if somebody sees that some stocks is going up in price, they will come in. Normally, this process would have happened slowly, but it's getting more regular now. And so what happened is that in this particular case, just hold on. This is what basically happened. There was parties. This is over a couple of days. Somebody was already pumping up these shares. I mean, sorry, not shares. This token. Um, it's a token that was listed, and you can list in many one of these exchange. Now the thing about DeFi is it stands for decentralized finance. Decentralized finance. What it means is that you have a number of exchanges that is working, and the price is determined differently from different exchanges. So even for a particular digital asset, it can have a different price at a different time. What is worse is that if you are able to manipulate, because if you have 100 million, in this case, I think they use DAI. DAI is one of the tokens that is quite popular. Uh, you can swap it into any other tokens quite fast, and what they do is that it's just like buying shares. Okay, I mean, if you don't understand digital assets like Bitcoin or Ethereum, it's unlike shares in the equity market where you actually have ownership of something, like a company. Digital assets, you have zero ownership. It's just a string of data kept in a record book, which they call a blockchain. And the reason why they call it blockchain is because transactions are recorded as a block, and each of these blocks is chained together, so that in order to get the next block, it depends on the information on the last block. So there will be, the transaction cannot be changed. So basically, they were trying to solve the problem of people manipulating, past transactions, like, fudging the records and stuff like that. So in a blockchain, you will not be able to do that, and that's why they call a blockchain in the sense that they tag on the last information uh, to build the next block. So, for example, in Flash Loan, the way they have designed Flash Loan is that you can borrow and then you have to return within the same transaction. So when you borrow, let's say you borrow in time zero, you borrow 100 million, and then in time one, you use it to buy asset A. And then when you keep on buying asset A prices is going to go up, and you will bring other people, keep on coming in and buy that particular assets. And when the asset is high enough, you will just sell it, and hopefully you can get out and then make some money, and then you pay back the difference. Say for example, you borrow $100, you buy assets worth assets A, and then assets A went up. It was $1 when you bought it, and then because of your huge amount, the asset price actually went up from $1 to $2 within a very short time. And then then you try to sell it, and then you managed to. I mean, the price came back down to $1.20. So basically, and basically, you actually made back you make 20 cents, because despite it went up, when it crashed down, you still make some money. So you make $1.20. So you return the $1 and you make the 20 cents as your profit. As long as you return the $1 back to the system, the record will shows that this transaction is complete. Now, why do you think the lenders will lend you money without any collateral? And the reason is very simple. The reason is because in all this blockchain transaction, you need to be able to understand that they have a system called rollback. Rollback is very common. If you use SQL, you will know that if something happened midway and all the data is not posted to your database, your database will automatically roll back to the last instance. It's the same thing here. So, for example, as I was talking, I'm giving you the example just now. You pump up a particular assets, and then, for example, and then you didn't transfer the money back. You didn't transfer the money back to the $1, sorry, the $100 back to the lenders. So the whole transaction will just roll back. So it is important for the borrower to make sure that the money, the $100 plus some interest, is returned to the lenders. But of course, when they return it to the lenders, the problem with this is that the lenders will actually get the quantity back, but the value of those digital assets have gone down, um, because when he bought it back at $1.20 and it exchanged back to the original assets which he borrowed, the price have actually gone down because the market fluctuates so much. It ended up that when he buy back from you, it's actually it's actually um, oh dear, what is happening here? So it looks like I was talking to myself just now. Anyway, so coming back to the point, the um, so so if you don't return the money back, you will never get your profit of the 20 cents which I talk about. It's because everything rolls back. So it's important for the person who did this flash loan to make sure that he returned the money so that the whole thing completes. And whatever money he made to 20 cents, he can convert it to Bitcoin or whatever, and then he can wash it, like mixing all the addresses, so that it's very hard to trace who he actually is, and so on. So that basically explains to you what is a flash loan and the hack and the remedy. And you see, the people who actually losses out when somebody do this kind of thing is basically the lenders, the exchange from where, I mean, the people lend money to. Before I go into that, I should explain why people do such things. if you look at this website, it's called DeFi Pulse. Now, the problem with us today is that we have a lot of cash because the government has been printing a lot of money, but we are not making any interest from this, right? We are not. There's no interest. So this website actually tells you where you can find the maximum interest. Um, of course, there are many, and the reason is because you can use your USD or whatever and buy digital assets. Okay, and when you buy digital assets, you can lend it out to other people who wants it. And when that happens, when that happens, you will earn an interest that is much higher than what you get from the banks. I don't know why this is not working. This hold on, this hold on. Yes, sorry about that. I was looking at the right page. For example, if you, I mean, most people, because of the very, very low rates that you're getting from the bank, what they do is that they use this to buy digital assets and the tokens from each of the exchanges. For example, you can see here, if you have the asset DAI, you can buy any one of this. For example, no, sushi is not real sushi. All these are very funny names, but it is balanced. All these are tokens issued by the exchanges that you can use uh, to to buy or lend. For example, I'm looking for USDC. This is Tether. Um, for example, this is the common one, Ether, right? Ether. So Ether, which is a major token that everybody accepts. For example, so if you have one of this, one of this, um, you will make 0.06% APR, which is actually very very, which is just like your normal bank. This 0.03 cents is based on the current price of Ether. I think that's very high now. I can't remember exactly how much is it right now. But for example, if you use DAI, DAI is a very common. Uh, so in this case, you will get about 8%. This is DYDX. Huh? DYDX. So even different exchanges different pool will give you different amount. So you can go to this one and then you have to read up the risk that is involved in these exchanges. Because remember, like I was saying to you, when you are basically putting yourself as a lender. I mean, when you put your uh, money, in this case digital asset, you're actually lending to somebody else. And flash loan is where people will borrow from these exchanges. Okay, so your rights, unfortunately, is almost negligible. If I mean, it's just like investments. You should not invest if you cannot afford it. You can only invest in things in a way that if you lose everything, you can still carry on in your life, right? So if you're interested, you should look at this, and you can look at the rankings and things and so on. The best thing is, of course, if you're a lawyer, you should read the terms and conditions, and I'm very sure you have no recourse whatsoever against the exchange. In fact, most exchanges do have a compensatory fund where they will compensate, let's say, up to 10 cents of whatever you lost. Uh, bef- Before I go, before I go, I would like to emphasize that it's better if you really have a very deep understanding of the technology before you even start to invest anything. Just go to Reddit and you can see what people talk about yield farming. Yield farming is the same thing that they're looking for the highest return for you. Of course, they will take a cut. Um, these people. This is another website called Crypto Briefing. I mean, the reason why I brought it here because I'm just trying to show you that I mean it's very popular now that they are advertising like this. I mean, it's like a money, it's like a bank, but they I mean, in certain countries, for example, in Malaysia, you need to be licensed if you're exchange. So it's very important that if you're going to do anything, make sure the exchange is licensed in the jurisdiction that you're looking at. And look at this. I mean, they're earning up to 12%. It doesn't mean you will earn 12%. You'll be earning up to 12%. So a lot of this advertising is very critical now. And when they say about USD, Euro, and GDP and all these things, what they actually meant is their own tokens. All these are tokens that they created that sounds they have the same name, but they may not be the actual currency itself. So it's very important for you to understand what all this means, right? So this gives you a very brief background. Synthetic is one of the uh, protocol. We call it a stable coin protocol. Basically, what it means is that it's a software program, right? So it looks like that. It can go up and it can come down pretty fast and it can move up pretty fast. So if you have bought it right around here when it first started, you'll be fine. But most people ended up here, as you can see. Most people ended up here. All right. So I hope, I mean, if you are a lawyer looking at these kind of things, make sure that you really understand how the technology works. And then only then you can advise the clients because I foresee that there's going to be a lot more regulation coming up and a lot more people getting caught in whatever. I'm not saying everything is bad. I'm not saying that every exchange is it's there to take money away from you, but they are a business after all. They're not there to make money for you. It's just like the casino. You always it just depends on how many I mean, like if you run an exchange, you don't have any risk other than people stealing the coins of your customers. In most cases, for example, in a central exchange like the New York Stock Exchange, they have custodian services. Now, exchanges also have custodian services. Normally, an external party that is qualified or has been certified with certain level of security. Strange as it may seem, the highest level of security is to write your Bitcoin or whatever tokens, digital strings of data on a piece of paper uh, together with your password and lock it in a safe. Never put anything online. So that's the way you protect your digital assets. Okay, thank you very much.